back to the phones we go. Good morning, Bob Sokoler, Louisville Real Estate Show, News Radio 840 WHAS. Good morning.
Hi, Bob. This is Keith.
Yeah.
I'm getting married in July. My fiance and I are starting to look for a house to buy. Any precautions we should take if we buy before being married?
Oh, you're not the only one. We just heard from somebody, I think a week ago, who's doing the same thing. So apparently a lot of people who are planning to get married are starting to look. And it's a smart move because buying a home, in fact, here, let me just tell you, not owning your own home can cost you a lot of money. So, Keith, good job. Home ownership provides tax savings. It allows you to lock in your monthly housing cost. Buying home is cheaper than renting in our area, at least, and no other investment lets you live inside of it. Unless you're living in a car, but typically no. So, Kev, what precautions would you recommend to Keith and his fiancée to make? Is there a contract or an agreement, or like in a prenup when you're married? Is there something they should think about before they purchase the home together?
It's something like a cohabitation agreement, because this does happen quite often, but then you have issues where one pre-spouse is on the note, the other one is not. They buy a house together, someone takes off, and someone's left holding the bag. And unlike the situation where you're married, then there's a process that you can go through that handles that, the divorce proceeding, that will determine who ends up having to deal with the responsibility of the house. There is none. You're considered to be business co-owners as if it were a business venture. And so getting into it's easy. Getting out of it's very difficult in that situation. So make sure you're real clear and you identify beforehand. And you hate to mention this, but again, it's probably more than 50-50. Chances are you're not going to make it to the altar, in which case, if it doesn't happen, what do you do with the property?
But don't let Kevin scare you. Listen,
I've had
from millennials, it's different now. You don't have to be scared. I bought a house with my now wife before we got married. We got into another transaction. We have everything written in paper. We did it as a business transaction. Thankfully, we're still good. I had one of my good friends who was in a rental situation, and he needed to buy. He needed to. He was throwing away his money. His girlfriend at the time, now fiance, wasn't sure about their situation, but we got them into it and to the right mindset. So I think it's about setting expectations, going to see somebody like Kevin, make sure everything is legally drawn out properly to protect yourself. But like you said, you could still...
I had a gentleman one time came home and the significant other had left. Only thing remaining behind were 3 cats, which were hers.
Oh, geez.
I didn't ask what happened to the cats. Let's hope they found good homes.
Keith, I'm just going to tell you, the pot is half full. Because it's 50-50 whether it continues or not. But I will hear him here to tell you, marriage to Sandy, very happy. It's a half full pot that
going
it's a
into
good
it the right way.
Watch yourself. You're digging a hole.
Yeah.
No, I'm not digging a hole. I'm
Picking up the shovel. He doesn't know when he's putting it in the ground. Don't worry.
If you're thinking about selling your home, we have a free, no-obligation booklet that has hundreds of useful tips. You want a copy? Send me an email, bob@wesellouisville.com, and put selling tips in the subject line.